What's going on, everybody? My name is Tamar Turner, and I'm the host of the Down to Business podcast, where the mission is to really provide exposure to businesses, entrepreneurs, and artists all around the world in their respective crafts. And we do so through audio and visual interviews where we come on and we talk about all things from getting into the business to most memorable moments to even some advice that you may give for other business owners and entrepreneurs out there. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, we'd love to have you on for an interview. Please be sure to reach out via any social media platform and we'll definitely get back to you. But until then, enjoy this episode. What's going on, everybody? Just want to welcome you back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. And it's always a good day, man, when you get to sit down with a business owner, when you get to sit down with an entrepreneur, when you get to sit down with an artist in this case. But it's even a better day when you get to sit down with the Qs, the bros, man. I'm really excited for this interview just because I get to speak to somebody who I know, man, somebody who I really didn't, who obviously, before I joined my fraternity, shout out to the Qs, but was somebody who I kind of knew, saw around a little bit, but somebody I would say who after joining my fraternity, after really getting to know them, is really just a dope individual inside and out, really a talented individual, really does a lot. And almost in a sense, I feel like I've been able to watch a lot of his progression. And I really say progression mildly just because I feel like he got so much more coming. I feel like the sky is really the floor for him in this case, and that really just lets you know how far he can really just go. Anything is achievable. So I'm really excited to be sitting down today with my dog Sonny the man. So Sonny, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. That was a dope intro.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta let the people know we come on, we talking to greatness right now. So just for everybody out there, who may not know about you, who may know about you, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and then what brings you on the podcast today?
So I'm Sonny the Man, the one and only Sonny the Great, aka Sonny the God. One of the greatest creators, greatest artists of this generation, not just out of North Carolina. Artist, writer, producer, credited producer, videographer, motivator. I'm just put on earth to create, man. That's what I do. Create opportunities for me, for others. Build, the builder.
All right, y'all. He said I gave a great intro, but man, look, you talking to one of the greatest, as he said, and not just coming from the city of North Carolina, but just in general. So something that you hit right off the bat is just that you're a creator. You create everything from content to opportunities and everything like that. So when did you really enter this creative space? Did it start off as just one thing? Did it start off as you just making music and things like that, where you just creating other content and then you kind of branched off into others, or was this something where you kind of came into the game and you really just wanted to be as versatile as possible? Just learn a little bit of everything.
So as far as being a creator, like I've honestly been a creator all my life. When I was like 5, I used to look at people. I used to trace. Actually, I used to trace people all the time. By the time I was 6, I could look at people. I could look at my favorite cartoon characters and draw them, just looking at them. So as far as creating, I started when I was at a young age. I've done everything. I used to be in dance groups. I started rap. Once I started rapping, like in middle school, I started making beats and started rap. Well, I've really been rapping since I was like I wrote my first actual song when I was 8. But once I got to middle school, I started making beats and I started rapping when I was in 8th grade. So right before I went to high school, I started actually like recording myself rapping. Started recording myself on a little, you got the little mics, the desktop mics that hook up to your computer. So me and a couple of my homies started rapping it. And it really just from there, I really fell in love with music and creating.
I love that. I love just the fact that it wasn't really just one thing. The fact that you really just had that creative mind from an early age. I would say that that's something that sometimes not to say that I didn't have it, but sometimes I wish I just entered that space more. I would say I was definitely more like into I was more so like physical, like sports and different things like that. I always wanted to go outside, always wanted to play and different things like that. But I would say when you really tap into that creative side, when from music to just to art to anything, I tell people all the time that sometimes I think that artists and everything out there, we stereotype them. We give them bad connotations, whether it just be of their past, whether it be not finishing school, not going to school, just the life that they may portray or rap about, how they portray themselves on social media and everything like that. But I would say, like, if you really take the time to, listen to these songs, listen to these albums, see what they're doing, even behind the scenes, which is sometimes hard because not everything is broadcasted. Artists are some of the most intelligent people in the world, like from the double entendres to the making two things relate, to even sometimes the triple entendres, to a lot of the rhymes and different things that they make and things that they tie together. As somebody who really appreciates music, it's something that I definitely have to take my hat off to. You can never judge a book by its cover, because at the end of the day, man, these are some talented folks, men and women just alike. So at what point did this Sonny come in? Like, you told us you Sonny the man, Sonny the guy, Sonny the creator. So where is that name attributed to something? Was it just something that you gave yourself over time?
So in high school, we used to freestyle all the time at the lunch table, and we used to also pick on each other all the time too. So one of my homies was drinking the Sunny D bottles, and I'm light skinned, so they called me the Sunny D bottle, and it just stuck. Sunny D. I started rapping with it. At first, it started off as Sunny D. I won my first competition. I won a showcase, and I got flown out to Miami. They had a winner each state, and so I started meeting A&Rs and stuff for the first time. So they was like, Sunny D would be a horrible name to try to use as far as like trademark and stuff like that. So my Twitter name was actually Sunny the Man. This was when I was at ECU, and it kind of shifted by itself. People would see you on Twitter and stuff first before they would meet you. So they would just started calling me Sunny the Man. I was like, I mean, I guess that's what it is. I guess that's what it is. It kind of fell on me by itself.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all about the about the bottle, but yeah, oh no, that's funny. I'm gonna definitely have to keep that one in the arsenal now for sure. But now I feel that makes sense. But okay, I get that a lot. I like that. I like that. So coming into the artist space, I'm really gonna take a lot of your. I would say I'm really gonna take a lot of your just personal opinions and just different. I know a lot of artists and different people, in that space and stuff like that. But I would say that that's not something I've directly ever experienced. Yeah, I definitely have had my fun with some freestyles and different things like that. But so initially, when you really just became Sunny the Man, when you were participating in these different showcases and everything like that, what was really the immediate response from a lot of people around you? Were they just like, this is just another guy, trying to be like a rapper or different things like that? Were people genuinely like supporting you? Was it really just a lot of you making things happen on your own, just you and your homeboys? Like, what was that like really getting started, like in the very early stages of things?
Honestly, it was like when I first started, my first showcase, I won. I came in first place, and it's kind of crazy because that's what gave me the inspiration. Like I just randomly submitted a song. Okay, boom, they selected me to come to the showcase. Like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn. I fought with it. All my homies fought with the song, and this was back when I was recording myself in the closet, making my own beats, recording myself in the closet. So went to the showcase, won first place, and it made me feel like, okay, I could really do this. People like it, and I went and done more shows. I performed, and I always got good feedback. It was never a point where it was like, nah, this ain't it. So I mean, anything I do though, like you said, I play sports too. I'm the type of person, no matter what I do, I'm gonna be good, or at least to the point where you're gonna have to respect it. I'm not gonna just BS nothing. Not to mention, it was a book I read called The Alchemist, and it speaks on your personal legend, which is what you're supposed to do in life. And I always thought about this once I read this book. It said you will discover your personal legend. First time, the few times you do it, you will strike luck because it's leading you to where you're supposed to be. And then it get hard after that, so you just have to keep going and keep going. But for me, I feel like music, not just music, but building this platform is part of my personal legend.
Absolutely, man. I think about all the time how, we're literally walking legacies. We're walking brands. We're building, setting and laying foundation not only for us, but for generations to come, for our children, for our grandchildren, for even our grandchildren's children. It's always just amazing to think about how what we're doing today will really have later impacts along the line and different things like that. It's wild. But I really love that what you said about, whatever you do, whatever you put your foot in the door for, you're going to be the best at it. You're going to have that competitive nature, but at the same time, you're going to always give your all and everything. And I really think that that's important. And so even still, I think that echoes a lot with your content. With, man, you only have like and 20, 130 posts on your page, but I feel like I've seen so much from you. Like I've seen it all from YouTube to Triller to you teaching, you playing the guitar and different things like that. And I seen you in the lab kind of almost looking like a mad scientist doing remixes. I seen you honoring, some of the police brutality victims, God rest their souls and everything like that. So where does all of this creativity really come from? Like, do you wake up and are you always just, just brainstorming different ideas and you really just put it out? Is it a lot of just trial and error? Is it like suggestions from other people? Is it a little bit of all of this kind of combined?
Yeah, it's all of it combined, man. To me, it's just life. Like everybody has their thing. To me, creating is my thing. So that's my way of expressing me. That's my way of expressing my perspectives of what's going on. So it's like if something's going on or something on my mind or heavy on my mind, I'm gonna release it in a studio. I'm gonna release it with some type of content. That's my thing.
Dope, dope. And I'm telling everybody, for those of y'all, if you're not tapped in, if you just hearing this interview for the first time, definitely, stick around and check the bio for all of his information. Tap in with Sonny, because I'm telling you, like, even my other artists out there definitely want to collab. I've tried to tag, different people in Sonny's things in hopes, people coming together and different things. Because not only, is he an artist, like you say, he's a producer. Throw some fire beats up there sometimes on the timeline. Y'all gotta be up and active to really get them. But no, I really have been impressed as somebody, who loves being on the camera, who loves being behind the camera, who loves taking pictures, videos, editing, everything like that. I really love what you got going on the page. And I think that as an artist, it's important. It's nothing like now. Like I remember back in the days kind of watching like the 106 in Parks and just the music videos and just how lively, how entertaining they were, just how interactive they were, how you could almost get a whole like mini movie from a music video, they were really telling stories, really just giving life experiences. And I know, kind of, no knock to some of the rappers and people more recently, but I feel like kind of this what we're moving into now, it's just like you see a bunch of people with the money flying everywhere, just rapping in front of the cars with the girls twerking. It's no real kind of like element to it. Like granted, yeah, the beats are hard, the cars are nice, all of that, the girls look good, what you're saying is cool, but at the end of the day, I kind of and this is just me personally speaking, I love, interaction. I love kind of switching scenes and different things like that. I love really just getting into it. It shows that you really spent some time. And I think that that's something that Sonny definitely does, without a doubt. So I'm definitely encouraging all of y'all to tap in, man, because I think it's something for everybody. So you spoke about it in the beginning, how you're a producer, and we can even credit some of the artists. So just for example, you have 2 Chainz, you have DeRay Deshawn, you have Dame Dollar, you have High Bridge, the label, Don Q, and all of them. So what has it really been like to be able to get these opportunities to produce with these artists, to interact with these artists, to really just be in that creative space?
So it's really just, to me, it's like a part of grind. And I have to, sometimes when you chasing something, you really get caught up in the grind and you will forget to stop and look at your blessings and count your blessings. So I have to do that. I have to force myself to do that because it is a blessing. And it just came from the grind, like me networking, meeting people. I met a producer, SK, shout out to SK. I sent him some beats. He actually had tapped in with Damian Lillard out in California, played on some of my beats, and one of my beats, one I co-produced with Those School, made his album. I didn't even know it was an old beat, something that I had forgot about. It was an old beat. To me personally, I ain't even really like the beat like that. But it's just crazy how life works, man. It's the grind. It led me to it. And as far as like linking with High Bridge, my shout out to the brothers, my line brother Trump Dog. He's part of the organization, part of the business as well. So he built that bridge from North Carolina to High Bridge to the BX. That's where he from. He built the bridge musically, and we just so happened to grind our way into get some beats in the Trap Manny's hands, or with High Bridge, the label. And he had Don Q featured on the song. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much it, man.
Shout out to the big bridge builders for sure. Big shout out to Trump, somebody who who's come on here and got a couple of shout outs. Big shout out to my DJ Double O, man. He came out here and shouted out both of y'all. So Big Wave is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Everybody out there, I was glad that I was able to, bring them on. I love what y'all doing, just from the musical side of things, from the community side of things, to the social side of things, to the business side of things. It's all, coming full circle. So I really love to see that. So with really everything that you do, everything that you talked about from the beginning, even up until now, what would you say has really been the hardest part, or even like a struggle, or even sometimes like have you lost motivation for certain things to make music, to be a creative? Have things kind of thrown you off the path a little bit? And then I would also kind of go to follow that up with, well, how do you respond to things like that? How do you continue to keep the faith? Like you said, it's all just about grind. So what really keeps Sonny the Man in grind mode?
Like I said, I'm a person that when I set my mind to it, I really plan on accomplishing it. I don't really set my mind to anything to be playing around with it. Everything's gonna have its ups and downs. I really like with music. There's never really a point where I don't want to create music. Now there is time that I do so much and have so much going on schedule wise. I may want to create more music or feel like I'm not doing enough of what I need to do. But there's never really a time where I'm like, dang, I'm really down about this. Cause to me, it's like, even if, even say I don't make no money ever doing music, like at the end of the day, I got to the point where I do music for me at the end of the day. So it's something, it's peaceful to me. It's just like, when you're doing something you love and time stops existing and you look at the clock and be like, yo, I know 3 hours did not go by. That's how it is. So I don't think I ever get tired of doing that. Now, as far as videography, because I am a videography, that editing will pile up on you, and that gets like, man, man. I definitely but I love videography too though. I can't lie. You zone out doing that as well. But it's just doing I would say one of the biggest issues that I ran into is overloading my plate with work at times. So that's why I just been working on management and continue to build a team, because I know this is part of the process until the team is built to the point where it needs to be and have all of the pieces. Sometimes people on the team are going to have to take on extra loads. And if you don't take on that extra load, then you'll just be waiting around till that team member comes. We ain't really got that much time to wait.
You just spoke really nothing but facts from the respect of, just when you love what you do, it's like you zone out. I can't tell you how many times I've really sat in here and talked with folks, and just then I look up at my recording and I'm 30 plus minutes in. I'm just like, dag, how many questions did I ask, or like what we really talk? I just felt like everything was really flowing, and really I've come to learn that you just gotta have fun with whatever you do, man. You really just and when you get to that point, it's just like it's a wrap from there, man. You could really just explore different avenues. I've tried doing now different interview tactics, and I have so many ideas and just things that I want to bring to fruition. But like you said, sometimes I think about time, but then there's other times where I'm just like, yo, we really don't have time. The same way I really just had to make that decision to start the podcast is the same way I really just have to make that decision to do other things. Get on YouTube, be more visual, start just, flying out places and really just talking to people, start taking my camera with me more and photograph, because that's something I really like to do, and I'm really starting to do more recently. So when I pop up in the city, especially Charlotte, we got to get right for sure. But no, I definitely do feel you, even from the editing respect of I love, just having work on your plate in a sense. I love, just not job ain't done in a sense. I love just always having something to do. So something I purposely do is I'll record like multiple episodes, whether it be in a day, in a week, whatever the case may be, just to have, because I know my release schedule is just like I try to let certain episodes sit. But sometimes, like you said, you see how many things you got to edit or what you got to put together, and you just like, oh, dag, I kind of let this pile up. But then once you kind of get into that mode, get back into that grind, it's really back at square one. So no, I love to hear that, and I think that that's important, just to really just keep you going, really just keep you motivated. And so I like how you even talked about the team aspect too, because I feel like with different business owners, with different ventures and things that you do, teams can play an essential role, but some people really one man army it or one woman army it a lot, and sometimes have some of their best success that way. So as an artist, as a creative more so, how important really is a team for you, for everything that you want to have going on? Because I know that for somebody who from the outside looking in, yes, you definitely have some dope content, you do a lot, definitely hasn't all been put together by yourself, but little do people know behind the scenes you really working, you really do a lot, you really can even be attributed to a one-man army at times with things that you do. So for where you are at this stage in your life, how important is building and formulating that team so that you can continue to progress and move forward?
The team is very important. The team is very important. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today without the team, man. And I don't really think any artists, and most even people that are one man armies, there's somebody back there either giving them a word. There's somebody, because I mean, multiple minds on the same mission is always going to be better than one mind on that mission. But as far as being an artist, you have to have a team. You need a DJ. You need someone to help you market. You need someone to help you brand. You need and just from a common sense standpoint, if you jump out there and you the only one promoting you saying you hot, of course you gonna say you hot. Of course you gonna promote you, but when you got other people to touch people, not only are you getting credit from someone else, you being able to touch multiple people without even touching multiple people because you have other people out there working for you. But the team is very important. But don't force the team. That's key. Don't force the team. You know, if you following what you supposed to do in life and you follow your intuition, the team is gonna be drawn to you. Y'all gonna be drawn to each other. You just gotta keep going.
I feel it 100%. Up until this point, like I'm gonna keep reiterating it. You've done a lot from content creation, music creation, service business, everything like that. What is something that, looking back at this point in your career of how far you've come and from where you started, from winning that showcase and getting flown out to Miami and coming up with the official name and everything like that? What is something that you can really take a step back and say, wow, I'm really proud of that. I really came a long way. That was really something. That was really a dope accomplishment. I really didn't think that, that was something I could take on, but I really knocked it out the park and did my thing with it.
I would say honestly building a whole brand of Sonny the Man thus far is something because we really haven't put a lot of funds behind what we got going on. We really didn't know the tastemakers that were already involved with like the big names or what's going on or with the insight or the inside. You know, everything we done was from us just grinding, networking, and putting out content and music and art that people like. So for us to do it that way and to be able to go anywhere in North Carolina and people know who Sonny the Man is. I walk in the building, they shouting out Sonny the Man. That's something that I'm really proud of for me and my team.
Humble beginnings for sure, and I'm proud for you, bro. I remember I remember even going up to Syracuse once I graduated ECU and playing certain songs like Oceanography, Jaws, Militant, everything like that, and just putting my boys on and them listening to Trump on the ad libs, them listening to Doe School, and just how y'all boys really have fun with it, man. How y'all boys really get creative and do the thing, bro. So I love it for sure. But I could only imagine it's no better feeling, like you said, than you going into the building and people just saying the man or you in front of that crowd and they just hype for you. I really I'm a mirror that a little bit, and I'm almost say that I get that same feeling, when people are posting my episodes or dropping quotes, or even when I see people wearing my shirts, like my brand, it's just like, wow, yeah, you really built a brand. Like that's just, it's something that you really can't take lightly, because no matter how easy it may have seemed, or just the steps along the way, or even how hard it may have seemed, you really have to appreciate that. You really have to say, wow, I really did that. And that really just lets you know that, yo, if I did that, man, you could really do whatever. Like building a brand, people don't realize that it's branding yourself is hard. Like being consistent, being dedicated to it is when anybody can come out with shirts. Anybody can come out with a brand, with a slogan, with a saying. Are you going to back that saying? Are you living up to that saying? Are you living up to that brand? Are you representing that brand to the best of your ability at all times? Because something I don't realize sometimes is that I have to represent this at all times. When I'm traveling, when I'm in business meetings, when I'm talking to people, when I'm out and about being social. At this point, you adopt a different type of responsibility, and so I think that that's something important to look at too. So just looking at where you are right now, just looking at everything that you have accomplished to date, just looking at things that you are trying to accomplish moving forward. What's on the radar moving forward, without giving us too much? Obviously, I don't want to get into no leaked information or anything like that. But what can the fans, what can even some of the audience tapping in today who may not really know too much about you, what can they expect from you moving forward, whether it be for the rest of the year or even for years to come?
Now, first of all, I just dropped a single called "Up It," self-produced. I made the beat. Go check that out. And just more content, more creations on the way.
And take it from me, y'all. I had to I pre-saved it on my Spotify. Sonny hit me up, and when I heard that thing, man, I was I was up in it all weekend. So it's definitely good vibes. I'm telling y'all, just as somebody who outside of the fraternity, outside of him being on this podcast, I promise you, if I would have heard, if I would have came across Sonny in any other way, I would still be dumping it to this day. He's really like, for me, he's like it's lyrical. genius. As somebody who loves music, as somebody who loves ad libs, who loves different instruments and things like that, I love what Sonny got going on. I love those school. I love the collaborations. I love all of that. So that kind of even makes me think and kind of begs a question for me to ask. So if you could get one artist on a track, whether it be, you featured on their song, they featured on your song, y'all, but basically y'all come out with a song together. Who you rocking with, like just off the top of the dome, and why would you pick them?
Man, that's a hard question. So I'm gonna have to go. I have to go two routes with this, and I'm gonna explain why. So if I was to get on somebody's track, I would definitely do like a J Cole. Definitely a J Cole. I'm gonna have to say J Cole. A lot of people compare me to J Cole. I'm an NC dude, and that's one of my favorite artists of the generation. Now, if I was to get someone on my track, I'm gonna go with somebody like Chris Brown or somebody. I'm thinking from a marketing standpoint on this side. You see what I'm saying? So it's split for me.
I like how you broke that up, but I also like, I like that the answer is different. I like that you wouldn't bring the same person on as you would rather be featured. But no, I definitely do understand you, man. That Chris Brown track would go crazy. J. Cole track would definitely go crazy too. But I understand you from a marketing standpoint, just knowing the power that, I mean, really knowing the power both of those artists have when it comes to social media. J. Cole, even some would consider him to be more so a low key artist, like not somebody who's going to be posting every day, going to be doing different things like that. But when he does post, from whether it be the tour announcement, the album drop, anything, it always just goes crazy. It always just goes viral. And then Chris Brown, somebody who could post at any time, anything, it's gonna go crazy. It's gonna, do what it has to do every single time. So no, I love that. So, and we really just we manifest a lot on this podcast. I really think that that's something that I love. I've watched people come on here and say that they want to be in this type of store, partnering with this brand, and now to date they're doing that. They're doing that. So I'm definitely manifesting that for you. I'm excited. I think you're gonna get J. Cole and Chris Brown and more to come. So we gonna step into it. And hey, look. Y'all remember it here, man. Y'all remember we tapped in with it first on the Down to
Right,
Business podcast. So
right.
look, he definitely gonna have it. We gonna have to follow up and get them both on the podcast too. So no, I'm definitely excited for that. So would you say that in any way? Well, probably so, but I want you to kind of explain with it too. So being from North Carolina, growing up there and everything like that, Carolina, I've learned, like, as somebody being from the outside but has come there and spent, a good portion of their life, 4+ years there. It's rich in just culture, rich in just history. People really take pride. North Carolina was the first place I went to and participated in an area code battle. Like, that was just, there's so many different area codes out there, but I saw people really just take pride in their city, take pride of where they come from. What does it mean, when it comes to you making music and you putting your messages and different things out there? What does it mean when you really have North Carolina behind you? And what type of pride do you take in being from North Carolina when you're making and producing music?
To me, I keep it me and my music. I'm from Shelby, North Carolina. A lot of people be thinking I'm from Charlotte. I'm not from Charlotte. I'm from Shelby, North Carolina. I'm a country boy, and you will hear me saying in my music, I'm from the country. I'm from the sticks. Like, it's really ruthless out here in Shelby where I'm from. It's different. So I just keep it real, be myself, let them know the truth. I hold it down from North Carolina. I love being from North Carolina. All the ballers from North Carolina, the best athletes from North Carolina, and we on the rise right now too. We on the come up financially, sports, entertainment.
For sure. I can't even hate. It's like I said, I'm a up north dude. I'm a northerner, as they call it. They think we just so mean and everything like that. But no, I would definitely say North Carolina is really the place to be. Particularly, it's one of the places that I really wanted to move to after I graduated ECU. If I didn't end up in like the DMV area, I wanted to go to Charlotte, without a doubt. So I definitely have been able to, even from going to ECU, entering in 2014 and leaving in 2018, just seeing the growth, just seeing the transformation is crazy. So nah, I love that for sure, for sure. So something that I've noticed about you, I've noticed about a lot of different artists, is that you guys, you don't just keep it music oriented. You do a lot, from with Big Wave and the Brown Bag Saturdays to just other community service, to just giving back to the community and everything like that. How important is it for you and other artists in that industry to, obviously, kids, the youth and everything growing up, they're going to see this message. They're going to see that you're an artist. They're going to see that you're creative. You do different things. But how important is it for you to also communicate that message to them about, giving back to your community, never forgetting where you came from, and recognizing that there are also other paths to music? Because I feel like you embody that just the same. Whereas you are an artist, you are, a rapper, as some may see you, just kind of meeting you for the first time. But you photograph, you content create, you social media and different things like that. So these are all different avenues that kids can take. So how important do you feel it is to continuously communicate that message to our youth?
It's very important to give back to the community, not just give back to the community, but giving back in general. You never know what someone is going through. that someone may not even have anybody to reach back to them to inspire them. So even if it's a random person, you giving back, maybe that spark that that person needed for them to elevate to the next level for them on their journey to being the best them. And not only that, you must give to receive. It's part of one of the natural laws of the universe. You don't receive until you give. So it's a balance. If you get more, you need to give more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really think yeah, I shed light on it just because, he is an artist and in that field. And I feel like a lot of times, especially where I come from, kids really only take one or two routes, or they really try to only take one or two routes. If I can't be a pro athlete, I'm going to try to hop on a track and do something that way. And not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm really just all about, empowering and embodying and just putting the opportunities out there. It's not to say at the end of the day, you still are you to go about and make your own choice. But I feel like a lot of times what people lack is just that exposure, just that education, just that, just knowing. I feel like if we learn about things, earlier and even at all, and we see the proper role models in our life doing these things, I think that that's very important. But you make a great point, as simply put, when you say you have to give to receive. And that's not to say that you should give, in order to receive, but that's really just how it should go. You should never feel like, you're too good, you're too high up, you've done enough, you don't have to give back or anything like that. I feel like that's definitely not a good mindset to have. So kind of switching pace a little bit, switching tempo, something that I'm very curious about, for the more so for the people out there. The guitar. We call ourselves the UZ rock stars. For everybody who don't know, we just really have it when it comes to Upsilon Zeta. But with the guitar and everything like that, walk us through that process a little bit. Did you are you self-taught? Did you just, what made you kind of adopt that and put that into your style? And really, how has that transformed, the type of music that you make and the content that you create, if at all?
Man, like the guitar, it's crazy because the guitar kind of followed me at first. Like I had two roommates that both had guitars. We both got high, and I ended up playing their guitars to the point where I started playing some songs. I finally got my own guitar, and I just really would play around, like play by ear. I listen to a song and play around with it till I can get it. So I'm self-taught. I recently just looked at some courses online. I entered a course online like 2 or 3 weeks ago, just to start learning some of the basics of like the chords and the notes and everything. But I got to the point where I was confident enough to go play it self-taught on stage. Like when all the performances is just me that you see me playing the guitar. And what really made me want to go to the guitar is one, like I said, I'm a true music lover, so I listen to everything from the new music to the old music to even different genres. But one thing that I did realize is that black people created rock and roll, and the first people in the industry that really gave it that swag all played guitar, to the point to where even the rappers these days call themselves rock stars, even like Future, like Future Hendrix. But the real rock stars, like the first ones that came out, was really like legit, gave the whole music this swag, this new swag and industry. So, I be listening to Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley, and stuff, and I just decided just to take it to the next level because rap is cliche a lot of the times. A lot of people just doing and saying the same things, and the technology has made it to where it's so easy for people to make music. But I was like, anybody can't just pick up a guitar. So I wanted to challenge myself to take it to another level and do something that everybody can't just do. So that's where you get Sonny Santana from.
Sonny Santana, I like it, and I think that it's a bigger message even behind his response to everybody listening. It's really to challenge yourself. Yes, you can definitely be on the right track. You can definitely love what you're doing, be seeing much success, getting great testimonials, great feedback, really doing the thing inside and out. Challenge yourself. Take it up a notch and go harder. You just as hard as you going now, and you feel like you really having it, you really making it happen in all facets. I promise you can go harder. I promise you can, place more emphasis in another facet of your life. So to everybody out there listening, I'm gonna even do that with myself. I'm gonna go harder when it comes to, my content. Just even something I spoke about earlier. I just have to do. Too many times I have ideas sitting here brainstorming, I'm writing them off and detailing them to other people, and they like, yo, so what's happening? And I even find myself being a hypocrite sometimes. I tell other people like, yo, do that, make it happen. What you waiting for? Like, that's dope. Like, yes, if I could help you out in any way, let's make it happen. Well, tomorrow, yeah, you got to do that for you too. So I'm gonna definitely take that message too into consideration. But I want to encourage everybody out there to do that.
That's
Pick up a
what
skill. Yeah, take on something that you never. I wouldn't even say that you never thought was possible, but just take on something new for you, whether it be a new instrument, a new hobby, a new pastime, anything. Spice up the content a little bit, switch up something with your business, or just do something. Enter a space that you've never entered before. Sometimes I feel like our greatest, success, our greatest accomplishments, our greatest even learning experiences really come from stepping outside of our comfort zone and really being unfamiliar in certain situations. So I'm gonna definitely leave that with everybody. So before we officially wrap things up and close things out, is there anything you feel like we haven't touched on in the podcast, whether it's about Sonny the man individually, whether it's about, collective effort of the team and everything around you, whether it's about what's to come, or just anything, that you feel like we haven't spoken about that you want to leave with the viewers and everybody listening out there?
Nah, we touched everything, man. I just want to reiterate on what you were just saying though about going harder. Like that's what the song "Up It" is about. It's about taking it to that next level. Like it's halfway. I know y'all seen the meme or seen people say it. It's halfway through 2021. So you either where you want to be, or you either not where you want to be. But either way, either if you're there or not, you still need to go harder because you need to get where you want to be. And if you're where you want to be, you still got more things to do. You got more goals to hit. So I'm right there with you with that, dog. We touched on everything, man. I'm just vibing with you.
I love it. And like I say, yeah, that's really just something that I tell all of my guests before they hop on here. I really just want this to be a vibe. I really don't want to come on here. I have certain things that I want to talk about. Sometimes we get to them, sometimes we don't. Sometimes I think of stuff even after, I finish. But I really just, at the end of the day, I really just want everybody to, get that. Everybody has a different message to communicate. Everybody has different life experiences and how they go and grow through things. It's the same. So I love that. And I definitely encourage everybody. Yeah, if you don't know where to start with his song Up It. Definitely tap in there and get you some motivation. But then just go through the content, go through the page and really see, what he's doing, not only for himself, not only for his team around him, but for the community. For those in Shelby, just so that they didn't have to come up necessarily the same way that he came up and everything like that, and continue to progress from there. So now I definitely do, bro. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing this space with me, for coming on here, for being transparent. But more so, I thank you just for everything that you're doing. Like I said, I'm watching you from afar, it feels like in this case, just because we're not technically in the same state or anything like that. But I love everything that you're doing, bro. I'm always rocking with you, always going to repost and support any way that I can, tag whoever, drop the waves whenever. So I love that for sure. So, for everybody who may be tapping in, who may be showing that same love, I think that there's also people out there who are going to be tapping in who may not know, too much about you, may be hearing this interview for the first time, may really just be hearing your name for the first time. So for those people out there, can you just let us know where we can find you as far as like social media and then your like the music streaming platforms and outlets as well?
Of course, man. You can look me up anywhere. Sunny SUNNYDAMAN, Sunny the man. On IG is Sunny_DA_man, but it should pop up. So follow me, tune in. I post frequently. I keep everybody updated, all my fans and supporters. And I'm also here to build too as well. Like he said, I'm not just an artist, I'm a producer, I'm a videographer as well. The more of us working together, the more of us building, the easier the come up will be.
All right. I really hope y'all heard that last line. The more of us building together, the more of us working together, the easier the come up will be. Sometimes I feel like we, are delaying our own come up. But God's timing is the greatest timing. So, but that just goes to show that your collaboration could really be the best effort there is. So for everybody out there, I definitely do encourage y'all to tap in with my dog, Sonny. Keep going, bro. Keep lifting, keep climbing, keep building. Shout out to everybody, who's put you in the position that you are in. But more so, bigger shout out to you for the constant grind, for the continued success, and just for the, for the dope energy, bro, for the dope vibes that you continuously provide for all of us and want us to keep tapping back in. So as stated, I definitely do appreciate you joining, being transparent, giving us some gems and really just giving us an inside look as to how things came to be. And then for everybody else out there, I definitely do always thank y'all for the support, for the love. We really working our way to 100 episodes. It's really kind of crazy to think about that. It's crazy that I have clothes out and website. Yeah, man. And we coming to Charlotte for the 100th episode. I'm gonna give you some details offline, but I definitely got something big cooking up, and I definitely think that you could be a part of it in some way. So we definitely gonna get offline for that. But yeah, for everybody out there listening, yeah, I got some big things coming for the 100th in November. So we gonna make it right. But I appreciate y'all. Let's keep tapping in. But I thank y'all for everything. Continuously tap in with us. So this has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner.